Stop. If you take your B12 or your multivitamins with your morning coffee, you are likely wasting every penny you spent on them. I'm Dr. Ben Lown. I see this every day. Seniors who are doing the right thing for their health, but doing it at the wrong time. Coffee doesn't just wake you up. It actually acts as a barrier that blocks your body from absorbing the nutrients you need to stay sharp and energized. Today, I'm showing you the 60-minute rule that will stop the waste, clear your brain fog, and finally make your vitamins work. Let's fix your morning routine right now. Let's start with what's quietly changing inside your body as you get older, because this is where the real problem begins. Your stomach isn't just a container for food, it's a chemical processing system, and the key player in that system is stomach acid. But with age, many people develop something called hypochlorhydria, low stomach acid. In simple terms, your digestive firepower starts to weaken. So what does that mean for your supplements? Imagine dropping a hard B12 tablet into a system that doesn't have enough acid to break it down. Instead of dissolving quickly and getting absorbed, it can just sit there for hours, not doing much. It's like putting a solid rock into a pipe and expecting it to dissolve on its own. It doesn't happen efficiently. And if it doesn't break down properly, your body can't absorb it the way it's supposed to. But it gets even more specific than that. Vitamin B12 doesn't just need acid. It also depends on a special protein in your stomach called intrinsic factor. Think of intrinsic factor as a key that unlocks B12 absorption. Without it, even perfectly dissolved B12 can't get into your system effectively. And here's where coffee adds another layer to the problem. Coffee can interfere with the signaling process that tells your stomach to release this intrinsic factor. So now you're dealing with two barriers at once: low acid and reduced activation of the very protein B12 depends on. Now, if you're someone who takes acid-blocking medications like Prilosec or Nexium for reflux, this issue becomes even more serious. Those medications are designed to reduce stomach acid, and while they can help with symptoms, they also create a significant acid gap when it comes to digestion and nutrient absorption. So if your stomach acid is already lowered by medication, and then you add coffee on top of that, you're widening that gap even further. At that point, it's not just inefficient absorption, it's a system working against you. And this is exactly why timing matters. Because if you don't fix this barrier first, everything else you take becomes less effective. Now let's talk about a completely different kind of problem. Because even if your stomach is working perfectly, there's a group of vitamins that still won't absorb unless one specific condition is met. Vitamins A, D, E, and K are what we call lipophilic, or fat-loving. That means your body cannot absorb them on their own. They need to be packaged into tiny transport bubbles called micelles before they can pass through your intestinal wall and enter your bloodstream. No micelles? No entry. It's that simple. And here's the catch. Your body only creates these micelles when fat is present in your meal. This process is triggered by your gallbladder. When you eat fat, your gallbladder releases bile, which acts like a detergent, breaking fat down and allowing those vitamins to be wrapped up and absorbed properly. But if you take something like a vitamin D3 capsule on an empty stomach, that signal never happens. Your gallbladder stays quiet, no bile is released, and without bile, those vitamins have no way to move through your system effectively. So what happens instead? They just pass through you, unused. This is why the type of breakfast you eat matters more than most people realize. You don't need anything complicated. Just a small amount of healthy fat can completely change the outcome. Something as simple as a spoonful of extra virgin olive oil, a pasture-raised egg, or even a small handful of walnuts is enough to trigger that bile response and activate the entire absorption process. Because without at least 5 to 10 grams of fat, that vitamin D you're taking with good intentions, it's not helping your bones, your brain, or your immune system. It's just passing right through you. Now let's look at what happens when your supplements finally do get broken down. Because even then, there's another hidden problem most people never consider. Inside your body, minerals don't just get absorbed freely. They have to pass through very specific pathways, almost like narrow doorways. And when multiple minerals arrive at the same time, they compete for access. This is called competitive inhibition. Think of it like a crowded doorway. Everyone is trying to get through at once, but calcium is the big, aggressive one in the group. It's faster, more dominant, and it tends to push its way through first. Magnesium, on the other hand, is quieter. It gets crowded out. So even if you're taking magnesium for your sleep, your nerves, or your heart, it may not actually be getting where it needs to go. Now, here's where this becomes more than just an absorption issue. It becomes a health risk. When calcium isn't properly absorbed and directed, especially if you're low on supporting nutrients like vitamin D3 and K2, it doesn't just disappear. It can start depositing in places it shouldn't be. Instead of strengthening your bones, it can accumulate in your arteries. This process is known as vascular calcification, and over time, it can affect blood flow and cardiovascular health. So the goal isn't to avoid calcium. The goal is to make sure it goes to the right place, your bones, not your arteries. And this is where magnesium becomes even more important. Magnesium is often called the relaxer mineral. It supports your nervous system, helps your muscles unwind, and plays a key role in maintaining a healthy heart rhythm. But for magnesium to do its job properly, it needs the right environment. If your system is constantly stimulated, especially with caffeine, magnesium struggles to settle in. It's like trying to relax in a noisy, chaotic room. Your body doesn't absorb or utilize it as effectively. So again, timing becomes everything. Separating your minerals and giving magnesium a calm, quiet window, often later in the day, can make a noticeable difference in how your body responds. Because inside your body, it's not just about what you take, it's about who wins the battle. Now, let's focus on one of the most misunderstood supplements of all, vitamin B12. Because this is where even people who are doing everything right still end up with poor results. Here's the reality most labels don't tell you. When you take a 1,000 microgram B12 tablet, your body is not absorbing 1,000 micrograms, not even close. In fact, due to age-related changes in digestion and gut function, many seniors may only absorb a tiny fraction of that, sometimes as little as around 1%. That means from a high-dose pill, your body might only be getting about 10 micrograms that it can actually use. So the issue isn't just how much you take, it's how much your body can access. Now, let's talk about the form, because this is where a simple label check can make a big difference. Most cheaper supplements use cyanocobalamin. This is a synthetic version of B12 that your body has to convert into an active form before it can be used. That conversion process requires energy, proper enzyme function, and a well-functioning digestive system. But if your body is already under stress, if your stomach acid is low, or if you've just had coffee interfering with those processes, that conversion becomes inefficient. The result? You're taking B12, but not truly benefiting from it. On the other hand, methylcobalamin is the active, pre-converted form. Your body doesn't have to work to use it. It's ready immediately. And for many older adults, that difference alone can change how they feel in terms of energy, focus, and mental clarity. But here's where the real breakthrough happens, and this is the part most people completely overlook. Instead of sending B12 through your digestive system at all, you can bypass it. This is called the sublingual method, placing the tablet or liquid under your tongue. The area under your tongue is rich in tiny blood vessels, known as capillaries. When B12 dissolves there, it goes directly into your bloodstream, avoiding the entire digestive process, including that coffee-soaked stomach we talked about earlier. No acid required, no intrinsic factor barrier, no breakdown issues, just direct absorption. And for many seniors, that one simple shift from swallowing to sublingual can be the difference between feeling no change at all and finally noticing their energy come back. Now, let's turn all of this into something simple, practical, and easy to follow. Because none of this matters unless you can actually use it in your daily routine. Here's your new morning flow. At 7 a.m., you can still have your coffee. Enjoy it. Keep the ritual. The goal here isn't to take things away, it's to change the timing so your body can work with you instead of against you. But before that first sip, start with one small upgrade. Drink about 8 ounces of water. This helps wake up your digestive system and gently primes your stomach lining after a full night of fasting. Think of it as preparing the system before you introduce anything stimulating like coffee. Then, once you've had your coffee, you wait. This is the most important part, the 60-minute buffer. You're giving your stomach time to reset, your acid levels to stabilize, and your absorption pathways to come back online. At around 8 a.m., that buffer ends. Now your body is ready. Around 8:05 a.m., you take your supplements, but you do it the smart way. Pair them with a small, smart fat snack, something simple like a spoonful of olive oil, an egg, or a handful of nuts. This activates bile release and allows your fat-soluble vitamins like D3 and K2 to actually absorb. At the same time, take your B12, but use the sublingual form. Let it dissolve under your tongue so it goes directly into your bloodstream, completely bypassing the digestive bottleneck we talked about earlier. That's your morning handled in just a few minutes, without confusion, without overthinking. Then in the evening, you create a completely different environment for your body. About 30 to 60 minutes before bed, you take your magnesium. This is when your system is naturally slowing down, and magnesium can do what it's designed to do: support relaxation, calm your nervous system, and help prepare your body for deeper, more restorative sleep. This simple timing shift, morning activation, evening relaxation, creates a rhythm your body can actually follow. And the best part? It doesn't require more supplements. It just requires better timing. Now, here's the part that actually makes this work. Not just watching, but doing. I don't want you to go out and buy new supplements. I don't want you to overhaul your entire routine. Just focus on one simple shift. Don't change your supplements, change your clock. That's it. Because timing is the lever most people never pull, and it's the one that can change everything. So here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, follow this exact routine. Keep your coffee, keep your supplements, but space them the right way. Pay attention to what happens to your energy in the morning. Notice your focus. Notice if that brain fog starts to lift. And then I want to hear from you. Come back to this video in 7 days, and if you feel a difference, if your mornings feel clearer, sharper, more consistent, I want you to type one word in the comments: fixed. Not for me, but for everyone else scrolling through, trying to figure out if this actually works. Because real results speak louder than anything I can say. You've worked hard for your health. You've invested your time, your money, your effort. Don't let something as simple as timing or a cup of coffee quietly take that away from you. I'm Dr. Ben Lown. Stay healthy, stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next one.